pick.
Alrighty, welcome to another episode of On the Clock, the Just Baseball College and MLB Draft podcast. I'm Jared Perkins. We got Tyler Jennings, our MLB Draft director here, but we have an awesome guest with us today. One of the top high school prospects in all of probably the U.S., Gavin Fien. Gavin, how are you doing today, man?
Doing great. Yeah, thanks, guys. Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, we're really excited to have you on. Been kind of following your journey for quite a bit here as we kind of roll closer to the MLB draft. But for the viewers who don't know you, the first question we always ask is just tell us a little bit more about yourself, kind of who you are on the field, off the field, all that fun stuff.
Yeah, so Gavin Fien, I'm from Temecula, California, born and raised here, same school district my whole life and everything. And, on the field, I think I'm just a competitor. Like to just go out there and compete, love hitting and stuff. I feel like that's kind of my thing. Off the field, someone who just likes to hang out, and enjoy, time with my friends, kind of take it easy when I'm not playing or working out. So mainly just, love to hang out, play golf, and just enjoy my time.
Love it. Awesome. I know Tyler will probably have some golf questions for you at some point here. Just for you got the Texas shirt on. Talk about kind of committing to Texas and what led you to kind of commit there.
Yeah, so I was pretty early in the process, actually, like freshman year. Really, after that 8th grade summer, before all the rules changed, colleges kind of, started that process. Had a good 8th grade summer. And then, I wanted to play SEC baseball. That was a big thing. That atmosphere, environment, just kind of that really attracted me, and just dog baseball and hype baseball, that was huge. And then Texas, I think the school and kind of the area was just, I really enjoyed it. Was thinking about like Tennessee, Ole Miss, schools like that, but just how cool Texas was, and Troy Tulowitzki was a big part, kind of seeing him as a mentor and everything. So honestly, kind of all that combined, kind of what led to my decision and everything.
No, I love that. That's awesome. The other question I was going to have for you too, you've had a lot of awesome experiences through your amateur journey so far. One of those is playing for Team USA. Kind of how did that impact your confidence and kind of approach to facing advanced pitching?
Yeah, I think, always knew I was solid, like obviously committed to college, but never too much, pro side or MLB draft up until this past summer. So kind of going out there to trials and, really hitting honestly really good and stuff, and just kind of flowing and feeling confident, consistency. That made me realize, I can compete and be amongst the best and, be a part of the best. So that was huge. And honestly, just reminding myself that, I can do this, and, I can be one of the, better hitters in the country.
I love it. Tyler, I'll turn over to you.
I'll say, building off that USA experience and going to trials, I thought you were one of the better bats that was there. And you were an integral part of that gold medal run for the 18U championship. So kind of just want to ask, like, being with experienced big leaguers as coaches, like you mentioned Tula with Texas before, but obviously you met like, I'm trying to remember a few of them. Brad Penny was one of them. And there's others, but kind of working with them and kind of getting an idea of, building upon yourself and learning from these guys. What was that like for you personally?
Yeah, so it was the Ecksteins were on the team, the staff as well. Brad Penny, as you mentioned. Just being kind of under them and being coached by them was huge. So it was definitely a cool experience, like just their professional approach to coaching. You don't really see that too much, as an amateur. And then you finally get to USA and they're, very professional, how you go about your business and everything. So experiencing that was pretty awesome, honestly, like very eye-opening to, the mature professional approach that they take into the game. And, I learned a lot from them. So it was huge.
Awesome. And I also want to ask you, because your brother, UCLA commit, Oakland A's, or I guess maybe not Oakland now, but athletics farmhand. Has there been anything that you've kind of learned from your brother while he's been in the pros so far, or, bouncing ideas off him, or, practice with him still, at this point?
Yeah, so a big thing that I learned from him was, the routines and kind of independence of pro ball. How committed you have to be to your routine in the process. It's a long season. You can have bad games. It's a grind for sure. So being able to commit to that recovery process, warm-up process, game process was honestly pretty cool to see, and something I didn't, I had an idea of, but not really how, specific it was. So that was pretty cool to see. And like the independence of it, being able to get up on your own and, be committed to that routine is, something that he's taught me that I will definitely take into my experience.
Gotta love brotherly love. I wish I had a brother now. And one last question too. This spring, obviously, a ton of expectations after last summer. How have you handled that? And on a secondary note, how has the spring season gone for you personally?
Yeah, the spring went okay. I kind of had a rough little patch in the middle. Had a good, obviously good last summer, and then fall and winter games. We played. We have like winter games and the area code select and everything, and did really good at that. And then early spring was fine, and then middle of spring kind of just got out of sync with my timing, some mechanical things that I kind of got away from and led to bad habits, and then kind of fixed that and finished really strong. So was definitely, had a little rough patch in the middle, but was very happy with how I finished and everything the past, like the last 4 weeks or so. Finished really strong and definitely learned some things from, that little rough patch that I will take now, that I can always use.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know defensively we've had you pegged as a third baseman on our ranks. I've also heard you've been playing right field as well. Is there any like preference on which position you prefer at this point, or are you kind of just going with the flow and seeing how everything goes from there?
Yeah, I mean, in high school I played short, so was really working hard at that. Really, proving that I can stick there and handle that position. Was really working on my footwork and everything, and I'm confident in my arm strength. So honestly, want to stick it short as long as I can, for sure. And then third, love third. Like that's kind of maybe what's natural for me, and right as well. But yeah, definitely just really sticking at short, working on that. But honestly, wherever I need to play, I feel comfortable at most positions. So it's not like I'm just honing in on one position or else I can't play the others. Just working at short for sure, and then letting the others just kind of work how they want to.
Okay, perfect. Jared, you're up.
Yeah, no, I was going to talk a little bit. You talked about having the rough patch this year. And like, as we know, baseball's like completely mental. What are some of the things you do to kind of help you kind of get through those like moments of adversity or having to overcome them?
Yeah, it's just mainly just trusting in myself.
Yeah.
Knowing that I've, done that before and having the confidence that, I will get out of it. So during that, it was definitely a little weird, senior year, big year, but yeah, just being strong and trusting the process. Found some mechanical things that I got away from, and then got right back to that and ended up finishing strong. So was very proud to see that kind of full circle happen to where, at the end I was hitting, what Gavin was supposed to hit. So was definitely just kind of, just committing to that, you'll be all right. Just keep working, like just take it easy and stuff. Kind of really helped me throughout that little rough few games.
No, I love it. I want to talk a little bit too, kind of Tyler mentioned your brother and kind of having that similar journey with him, but have you had any big role models or mentors throughout your career?
Yeah, I think just my parents always being there. They've been huge, just always, anything I need throughout my process, travel ball, whatever, like the commitment to travel ball was huge and stuff. And, stuff that most parents, maybe can't make happen. So that was awesome. Them just always being for me. Like I said, my brother, especially the pro side, and he did the draft process last year. So that's been huge to see, in-home meetings, draft workouts, everything. So that was awesome. And then, just a few coaches here and there in high school, like just always being there for me, helping me get, one of my coaches always throws BP me whenever I need, I can, just text him and he's there. So that's pretty special and, very something that I'm grateful for. So yeah, nothing like too specific, but, honestly, just the close people that I have around that have helped me throughout this journey.
I love it. The other question kind of in that same mentor realm, you talked about Troy Tulowitzki, looking up to him, but are there any kind of other big leaguers that you look up to or kind of model your game after?
I think like just growing up, Trout was
Yeah.
my man. Kind of that high hand setup is kind of what I got it from a little when I was younger. Just that natural. We don't have the same type of load, but that kind of that high hands into the leg kick was a huge kind of thing that I take, and just how he goes about himself is pretty awesome to see, and the maturity he has and everything. And Arenado defensively has been a big one. Kind of his style of play, and how he goes about his work ethic and stuff was kind of huge to me growing up. So I'd say those two are kind of the biggest influences like on my game.
I love it. So because this is on the clock, we're gonna end with some like more rapid fire fun questions here, just to kind of wrap things up. First one is just what are some of your passions away from the game? Like, what do you do to kind of unwind after you have like a bad game, good game, those kind of things?
Yeah, like I said, kind of just who I was earlier. Like to hang out with my guys, like just separate from baseball. Just be. I was just in high school, so be teenagers and, kind of just hang out, kick it, take it easy. Baseball obviously is important, but, got to take it easy and separate the two sometimes. Absolutely. And then, like I mentioned earlier, golf's a big one. Love that chill, laid back, just being in nature, kind of hitting some balls. That pure iron strike is something that I chase and come back for. So that's my thing. And then on it, like being a SoCal kid, going to the beach and everything. Just kind of taking it easy. Like maybe I used to play video games here and there, but mainly just kind of baseball's a lot and like taxing on the body. So kind of whenever I get the free time to just relax, honestly, is kind of something that I take advantage of.
I love it. Tyler, do you have a follow-up golf question here?
I have two because it's U.S. Open weekend. So first off, who are you rooting for on the U.S. Open? And secondly, how good of a golfer are we talking about here? Because you mentioned pure iron strike. I've got to ask because I still can't hit mine straight. So.
It's a good question. I mean, it's hard to root against Scotty. That pure dominance is like something I just like someone that's just dominant, like a Tiger, a Scotty in baseball, like a Judge, like just that pure, consistent dominance. So that's who I'm rooting for. But I mean, Koepka looks pretty good. So if I were a betting man, I might go with Koepka. And I'm solid. Yeah, I'm like a 10 to 12 handicap. Okay. So like I shoot low 80s. So not bad. It's a work in progress, but when I get a little free time, I get a little better. But when I go straight from baseball to golf, the swing maybe gets a little messed up. Just different planes. So but yeah, I enjoy it for sure. It's kind of my getaway.
I feel you on that. I need to start going out and hitting the links more because I know last summer I was like a 14 handicap, and I would imagine right now it's probably like 25. So.
You're up there. It's okay. Next question I was going to ask is, what is the go-to post-game meal?
This season, it had to have been Chipotle.
We get that answer a lot, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, that double wrap burrito, it's special. So that's the go-to, honestly.
I love it. Then the next one, you kind of talked about Trout and Arenado here, but if you could build your all-time Mount Rushmore of like 4 guys that you look up to, I was going to say like infielders, but since you play outfield too, we can kind of include those in there as well.
Trout's got to be up there.
Yeah.
Like I throw like Arenado up there, just based off my type of game. 2 more. I've started to like, I've seen like not necessarily comps, but like Evan Longoria is someone that I sometimes get. So like I started watching his highlights and I kind of like his like bat tip and the swing like me and everything. So I'll throw him up there, give him some love, and we'll go Bonds.
Love it.
That dominant special. So I got to go with those 4.
No, that's a great list. Then the last question that we have is, if you have walk-up songs? I know not all high schools have them, but what would be the go-to walk-up song for you?
I switched between. It was a song by Future. It was like hard to choose one, and then Unwritten. Those 2.
Okay, nice.
Those are the go-to too. So I think I'm gonna yeah, in pro ball or college, I gotta figure out one to stick with and kind of make it my thing.
I love it. Gavin, we can't thank you enough for taking time to join us on the clock. It's been awesome just to kind of hear your journey through amateur baseball. We're wishing you nothing but the best over the next couple weeks, the next month, and whatever your journey kind of leads to.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you guys so much for this. It was awesome.